Beautiful people, gentlemen and ladies, this is so an exclusive, beautiful time we are hitting. I am Charlotte Chi, and I've been educated in the light of divine movement and technology that is grounding on the earth like never before in order to restore the earth. But there's one component here in the month of May we truly need to understand, that we need to do our part, do our passion, do what is required from us in order to move through that and eliminate all of the old recycling energies that came down with birthing into soul consciousness. So moving into spiritual consciousness means your brain can no longer be taken over, because if your brain no longer recycles the old, you create a bridge into the light domains that are already set on the earth plane. And that is something so massively important to understand. Working with integrating light within that overrides densities, all that emotional fabrication, and moving into higher mentality is what will bring the biggest changes in your individual life, because it's all about the individual and how to move forward into the bigger format. If I look back a few years from now, and I'm looking at my own art. I'm an artist, an author, a spiritual channel, a scientist, moving into my study with the animal kingdoms in order to assist to prepare for them. So that's part of my passion. But then again, channeling and healing people and getting communities together is the most important factor that is opening right now. And the message I get for this month is truly being a master in the community and educating people how to get into their light, how to move over the bridge of negativity, density, and everything we have lived until now. And thus we need a lot more masters willing to do that. So that is essentially what I train, moving people into their light bodies, moving them into self-mastery and educating them how to educate others, because it is so essential that we do that. And the more we do that, the more you will see the difference between people living in the malfunctioning of the debris of the earth and people living on the other side of midnight into their true light. So light embodiment from a light model, opening up into the model of these celestial bodies and universal bodies, is basically what I train, because the celestial bodies is what truly overrides the high level densities that want to take over the earth plane, and thus your brains moving out of that recycled debris, emotions, fears, angers, diseases, name it. Then you will start to lose a lot of weight, and you will start to feel so free like never before. And all of that just comes through light technology. I've seen from observation, a lot of study has been put in light geometries, in light languages, and mathematics. But yet, if the individual person does not understand how that opens up in the body, they are termed light designs actually, then we cannot pull these functions in the body. It's you can liken that like if you take food in the body, that is because you need energy, right? But the same goes for, let's say, a Hebrew language or another language. Even the English language is a very high light language, and knowing how to apply words in the body is what bring the changes and overrides consciousness from the old lifestyles into brand new light elixirs. And that is where the fun comes in, because your source and many forces and sources of divine light origin wants you to be happy and to have a great life in which you have balance, harmony, and joy, and all the financial needs that can meet up at the same time if you live in that particular format of light. So that needs a little bit of retraining and upgrading, and thus moving with what higher evolution brings to your feet, so to speak. And so you change from one day into the other every day. So this past weekend I've been setting the celestial bodies for a few people, and they just felt the change overnight, and setting the work in to change themselves just by simple techniques applied every day in your business, in yourself, in the home, families. Everything will change then, and how that comes through will be explained as well. So I do this individually and also on group format through Skype, should you be interested in doing that and willing to move out of everything old. And even for those just starting out to setting in a light model in the body, there is so much change coming through, in which I will eliminate that old recycled consciousness. I will rewire your brain and rewire what can be done in a first session. So there is a lot to follow up, but it brings the happy lifestyle, and with simple techniques we can blow out whatever the outside world wants to take over. And that is where the fun starts in, because you cannot ever kill light, yet light needs to be understood. We need to understand how we can override consciousness. So on a particular way, like this 22 ways I work with, and above that I work with color formats in other ways, like copper infused rays, like fluorescent rays, like pearlescent rays, like rainbow rays. But the first 22 simple ways are very important to work with as they override consciousness. And by just breathing certain models in or designs in, we can move extremely fast, because it is a time in which we gather in communities, create ideas for the new educational systems, create ideas for new health, and we need a lot more masters willing to do that, willing to offer solutions in the health educational systems, in education, let's say in kindergartens, high schools and universities, because that is where the malfunctioning started off. So, and we need to do that with a lot of understanding and offering solutions on a high scale. And with light technology in the body, then it becomes easy to regenerate ideas into something that gives possible options for change on an everyday level. So we could re-educate almost everything. We can we educate um, physics, mathematics, geometry, just, to children aged between 6 and 12 years old, and how mathematics format in physical fitness, for example, and or while doing yoga, while running, while dancing, and dancing your light in a certain design. And that is where the fun comes out, because if you get individual symbology and knowing how to apply that, that is where you can start to understand your original essence, which is pure light essence. So in the next decade, we will transport the, the whole gene pool, actually, the genetic construction of the cellular output into light parts, and move beyond that old debris that killed a lot of glands in the body. So the endocrine system, the bone construction, the blood circulation, all that can be repaired by simply breathing through light techniques. So that is where the fun comes up, and that is my message here for the next few months, because in essence what we are repairing globally is the broken veins between the lady and the gentleman, which I've been talking about for many months now. And we understand that those energies need the highest format of balance. So I see that in every artwork I've ever been making. So the artwork for the rest of May is about creating the bridge of light. Here we see a bridge, and we see a gentleman pulling out the densities out of his head, being transformed by the Hebrew letter Yod, which is more likened to the lavender flames. You know, most people remember the lavender flames, in order to create that bridge and where your green light goes. So the green barrett opening and lighting with the terminology that is knowledge through green light. And so you can see the rivers purifying here into light. So it's a very important artwork I have here, in which you can understand also the colors that come through. So the white purification way is very important, as that moves with the cream way, the invisible way that opens eyes beyond eyes, but also is a very important way to reconstruct male-female vibrations, move out of the old relationships and release them once and for all. So for those still willing to do and cut these cords through the nervous system, because it's the nerves and the glands that stick on old relations, not willing to go, afraid to go, attachments and all that stuff. So I work with 4 designs. Just moving these designs through will mean that you eliminate certain relationships or connections once and for all. It is so strong, and you can work with that simple 1 hour or longer, I guess, meditation, eliminating one person at a time out of your system. And I must say, they will never kick in ever in your life again. So everything that we see many times on the Google machine, on YouTube and things, is just a repetition. People just keep on repeating the same old stuff, like this or that. Relationship is coming back, this is coming back, this is coming back. It's not about completion anymore. We are done with that. It is truly about taking the decision to move these old connections out once and for all, and not letting them in anymore. And so with that technology, 1 hour of meditation and moving them out of your nervous system, the vagus nerve, the gland, the root of the problem is your root chakra, and that holds you back from getting the prosperity, getting the business, getting the success as you wanted. So the first format is always detaching and completely eliminating um, connections that keep you from your growth, your personal evolution. And so your energy gets stuck along the way. And thus, once again, for those afraid of doing that, and that is a simple investment, I think it's about only 33 euros or something, but that is so strong, and which you can use for 6-7 months if you want to. And then you can pull out your light, work with a model of light, open up your celestial universal bodies, and from there on we can reconnect our pillars of light. All these at least 12 pillars into the bigger model of light, in which you start to co-create with the galactic and universal systems, light sources, forces, the elements that work with you as you open up the power of your command and your throat again, that is stuck in most people, still afraid to talk their truth. So all of that, once that is opened, there is no more holding you back. So my message here again is more like, please, there is but one question the divine is asking you, and that is creating your bridge of light, your arc, green light, go light, onto the other side, and knowing how to do that. And when you do that, that is opening up with celestial bodies, then you will know the difference actually, because the densities cannot hit you any longer. Instead, you can command what you want. So that is quite a bridge, as long as it is moving into purified vibrations. So there is a lot to understand, but we can start off with a model and opening up languages, just symbolism in the brain, and moving beyond that. So let's say the movement from here May into June, you will see, you will get a lot of time here, personal time with the self, where you start talking with self and creating new solutions to define a new life for yourself, in which joy will open up on many different platforms, to which the bridge into instant manifestations come true. Yet there is, the only thing we need to understand is that we need to do that just by breathing through consciousness. Consciousness being put on a certain way. For example, if we work with the pink way, we need to know what that designs and defines, and what kind of consciousness we put on it. Right, so we need to know what way eliminates. We need to know what kind of way brings us into peaceful vibrations. We need to know what kind of way purifies us. So that is what I mean to say by putting consciousness on the ways, and you can start to work with a way formula. For example, pink, gold and white, and get that through. See what it does with your brain. Move it in the glands or through your blood, or knowing how to do it. So that is moving into full mastery and creating solutions for this earth plane, because the movement is going to get very fast, as the biggest changes will come through actually, or let's say 2021 is the biggest preparation for the great evacuation in 2022. So the decision time is over, completion time is over. It is taking responsibility and doing the work you need to do, meaning the purification from the cellular construction into light, addressing your diet, addressing your fitness, because all these three elixirs actually move together, right? It's what we understand or can understand. And these days, light bridges and light technology, as I bring healing through, straight through my hands in your entire body, is what immediately eliminates what essentially needs to go. And so you can initiate yourself as well into an eternal healer, which is simply opening up the light in everything, in your fingers, your toes, your skin, everything you touch needs to open up into light flames. So that is the goal. And while working with it, you start to understand it, and you'll be able to also heal people and teach people. And that is meant by creating together. We are co-creators, and we need to build more community. So let's say for those interested to do individuals with me or online, please let me know. Email talk and communicate, because without communication there is no highway that is very beneficial for you. Communication opens knowledge, and knowledge opens up more intelligence and more creativity. So wish you good luck this month. If you have any questions or you want to go a certain highway with certain things, please let me know, and let's see how we can assist and come up even with more beautiful ideas from the skies, because the skies are merging with light earth, and so the densities will break and crumble. And it's all about living your light into your highest truth level. And that is something most people are still very much afraid of. When we address personal truth, let's say it's only about eliminating certain issues in your brain. And so when it's eliminated out of your brain, it will eliminate out of your body, because it's all interconnected through the neurons that fire or balance energies. And thus we are all energy, and all of the energy is simple consciousness. So changing consciousness in certain energies through light formulas is what is bringing up the change within you. So thank you so much for being with me. And yeah, every information is down there in the description box. So if you want anything or just communicate, just let me know. Thank you so much. I'm Charlotte G. Bye.